Hello everybody. If you're watching this on Friday, the 26th, greetings. I'm out today, and so I don't have the opportunity to greet you in person on Google Meet there, so hope everybody's doing well. And if you're watching this on Thursday, great. This is just a review for you. Just wanted to provide an opportunity to kind of hear me process and go through the last part of that paper review that you all received earlier in this week that goes over scatter plots. So I'll go ahead and go over this number 4 example. If you want to follow along, it's on page 7 in your packet, 7 and 8. So you're given some data here, all this data here with total calories and fat grams. And it looks like when you plot that data, it seems that there is a positive linear trend, right? Not a perfectly linear trend, right? Some of the points are a little bit off the line. But generally speaking, it seems that as calories increase, fat grams increase. That seems to be the pattern. That's called a positive correlation. You may consider it to be moderately strong. I wouldn't say it's super, super strong because we have some points that are a little bit off the line here, but I think it's moderately strong. So that's the first observation here. Now, as we go into the next page here in a moment, we're going to need to make an equation of this line. So to make an equation of this line, we are eyeballing a couple of points on the line that are friendly. So the friendliest points that I can see are right here at the origin. That's our y-intercept, our b-value. And then there's another point right here that looks pretty friendly at, looks like 450, 40, okay? So those could be my 2 points, 0, 0, and then 450, 40. All right, so I'm going to use those points to find the slope here on the next page. And my b-value is right here. It's 0, right? That's my y-intercept. So that part of the equation is already taken care of for us. Here's the next page. You can see here in F, G, and H, you are making predictions about the calories or the fat grams using the trend line. So you're looking at the line and making predictions that way. Make sure that you can get those types of answers on your own. So maybe go back and make sure that you can make sense of letters F and G before you get to H here. So for H, it says find the slope and the y-intercept. Well, guess what? Lucky us, we have our b-value. That was easy, right? It's the origin. So now we just have to find the slope. Now I kind of did this a little bit more in my head right here. I wrote down the 2 points, and then I did the rainbow method, which is change in y over change in x. So that's kind of how I thought about it. The way we've been doing it a lot this year is by making a table, an xy table. So let's kind of go through it that way. So my points are 0, 0, and 450, 40. So my change in y is plus 40. My change in x is plus 450. Slope, m, is change in y over change in x. So that would be 40 over 450. And I can reduce that to 4/45. Okay, so that's where I get this number right here, 4/45. So then what's my equation? Y equals mx plus b. So m, so that goes there. Mx plus b, there's the b, there it is, okay? So here's my equation right there. Now, in the last part, I'm using that equation to make some predictions. So let's see what that looks like. So down here, it says use your equation to determine the number of fat grams in an item of food with 800 calories. Okay, so the first thing to observe is that 800 calories is what's given to you. Calories is the x, so that tells you that you're gonna plug 800 in for x, not y. That's why 800 is plugged in right here, not for y, okay? And then from there, all you're doing is you're plugging this in your calculator. 4/45, so 4 divided by 45 times 800 plus 0, and you get 72 grams, okay? Now, in the next one, you're told that the item of food has 20 grams of fat. That's the y. So you're being told that y equals 20 is what you're being told there, which is why 20 goes in for y in the equation. So you're using the same equation that we found above, the equation up here, and you are substituting the appropriate value in for the appropriate variable. So 20 goes in for y in this case, and you go ahead and solve for y, or solve for x, excuse me. And to do that, in this case, you just have to divide both sides by 4/45 to get x by itself, or you could multiply by the reciprocal. You could multiply by 45 over 4. That would get you the same answer. But for ease, if you have your calculator, you could just type in 20 divided by, parentheses, 4 divided by 45, parenthesis, and you get 225 calories for x, okay? So that's how you use the equation to make some conclusions, right? And that's the power of an equation. It allows us to make predictions down the line, way off the graph, way into the future, okay? The last thing here is interpreting the slope. All right, so our slope we found was 4/45, and that's positive. So how do we interpret slope? Well, remember, slope is change in y over change in x, okay? So the y was grams of fat, okay? 4 grams of fat, that's my change in y. 45 calories, that's my change in x, right? Slope is change in y over change in x. So that means that for every 4 grams of fat, that would add 45 calories onto the food item, okay? So that's how you interpret the slope. Think about it in terms of change in y over change in x, and consider what x and y stand for in the problem. And that will allow you to interpret the slope. Okay, hopefully this little crash review was helpful for you. And hopefully now you are ready to take your quiz on Schoology. Okay, best of luck, and please let me know if you need anything.